Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tingling Tea. Here at the Tingling Tea, we talk about the strange and the supernatural, the weird and the wonderful, the creepy and the cryptid, and all that is phenomenally freaky. Tonight, without further ado, because we are running a few minutes late, I would like to introduce my guest. So I'm going to try to change things up a little bit. First of all, I would like to introduce my friend to the end, been my friend for a long, long, long time. One of the smartest guys I know, and probably the most informative, and probably one of the most chill zen people I know as well, Mr. Augie Eddie Peterson. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much. I never ever get tired of hearing the different words you come up with at the beginning of these things. Thank you so much.
Totally off the cuff.
Everybody needs to have someone like you introduce them every week of their lives. It's really a little good. It's an ego snack for me, really.
Okay, well, then I can find some more wonderful things about each one of you. So then I'm going to now introduce our second host. She is beautiful. She is, in New Digs. She's in New Digs. Also one of the chillest people I know, one of the smartest people I know. And she always handles me with such grace and confidence. May I please introduce to all of you all my friend, Annabelle Chimpton. Hello, Annabelle.
Hi, was that an ego meal that you just fed me?
I sure did, chomp chomp. How are the new digs? We've missed you so much.
They're good. I have a full room to myself. You no longer see my living room behind me, and you have my wall that my landlord said will dry to the same color if you enjoy this abstract art behind me. So it's been 2 weeks of drying to the same color.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so without further ado, I am bringing up one of my co-hosts from Evolution Comics, This Week in Pop Culture, and he is also the host of The Last Stop on the L. He's been with us for a couple of weeks, adding a little bit of spice and flavor to our commentary, and also now has become my fitness trainer and coach, my virtual fitness trainer and coach. I mean, this man just does it all. May I please introduce to all of you all, Mayhem Mike Alexander. What's up, Mayhem?
I just want to thank my mom, my dad, my neighbors, my fitness coach. Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you here with us. I mean, we are so excited about you being here. As always, I mean, you're going to give some really great commentary to what we're doing this evening. I'm so excited about tonight's topic. So, first of all, before we do anything, I have to do my disclaimers and stuff like that. I want to give a shout out to Mia, who just said hi.
Hi, Mia.
And she knows it's Mayhem. So, girl, you know it's going to be live tonight. Anyway, I just kind of want to say, first of all, as we've been telling you in the past couple of weeks, that we are moving to Thursday nights. So it'll be same time, same bat channel, just Thursday nights. Okay. So yeah, so Thursday night. So Mayhem, put that down, pencil that in just in case, we want you to have to come in here. You're going to be doing a Thursday night.
I already got it. March Thursdays, Tingling Tea. I got it.
There you go. I love it.
I do too. And I just want to give a disclaimer to anybody watching this content tonight. If you do not like to talk about these kind of things, if you don't like to talk about these kind of scary subjects, please turn us down or turn us off. And if you are watching and you have kids watching too, please, please, please use parental discretion. Some kids can't take all this content that we're going to be talking about this evening. So I'm leaving that up to you to make sure. Don't blame the Tingling Tea.
Yes.
Make sure you just be a good parent and wise parent when doing all this stuff. So we have a lot of content to get to do this evening. I mean, we gotta go through a lot this evening. And it's pretty much gonna be Augie tonight, but we're gonna give commentary to Augie. So we're wrapping up Black History Month. Yes. And as you know, we've been doing a series on being Black in film, being Black in horror film specifically. So we're going to try to merge two decades together because there was so much rich content we chose our 10 favorite. Actually, I collaborated with Ed August on this because he, he saw his perspective, but I was like, as far as Black folks were concerned, this was epic. This movie was epic, or whatever. So we're hoping that you will agree with us. Provide commentary this evening. Just let us know what you think about what we're putting up here, and add your own little flavor as well in the comments, just to let us know if you agree or if you disagree with the film choices that we have this evening. So, Augie, this is going to be all you tonight.
Wow, the pressure is on.
That's right. Oh, you got it. You can handle it.
I don't know. It's a lot of pressure. So you're right. We talked about the top 10 horror movies that where we have Black people surviving, and we of course are doing that because traditionally we don't see that very often in horror movies. We don't see the Black character surviving. They're usually taken out in the first third of the movie. So we wanted to use this last week in Black History Month to really celebrate those movies that have changed that, right? That have moved the needle on that. And I think the list that we came up with is really good. We have a lot. So we have 10 that we're going to talk about. There are more than 10 that examples of this. And so we do want to give some shout outs at the end to those movies that we're not focusing on. So we tried to really focus on those that presented something new to its audience when it came out. And some people that have seen some of our content before might recognize some of this, and some of it is brand new. So before we go any further, I just want everyone to know that you're right, Les. We tried to do 2 decades worth of films. In fact, we're sneaking in a 3rd decade, actually. One little example from 3 decades, so which makes it 3 decades. So I'm really excited about this topic. I think it's an amazing representation that we should be seeing more of in horror movies, and it's long past its due date for something that we need to celebrate. Yes. So without further ado, I should say, let's go into the first one. And the first one, let me describe it to you before you show it the slide.
Okay.
So it's about, it says, following an ever-growing epidemic of zombies that have risen from the dead, 2 Philadelphia SWAT team members, a traffic reporter, and his television executive girlfriend seek refuge in a secluded shopping mall. What can that be?
It sounds like to me,
Annabelle?
if you say shopping mall, and undead, it has to be a Dawn of the Dead or something like that.
It has to be.
Exactly. I was about to say, there's only one movie I know of
with zombies.
Shopping mall.
Yes, exactly.
You're right. That fantastic pairing of shopping and zombies is only in one movie. I don't know why they don't do more movies like this. Dawn of the Dead. It came out in 1978.
Wow.
And it was directed by George Romero.
Yes.
And who remembers George Romero and what he did before this?
All zombie movies. He's known for that. He's known for the genre.
He's known for that.
I'd say first there was Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. So Night of the Living Dead. That's right. And it also had a Black actor or Black character that survived Night of the Living Dead, which was we're not going to talk about tonight, only that we've covered that in a previous episode. But we should give a shout out to Night of the Living Dead. So up comes George Romero for this episode of the Living Dead series. And the makeup, by the way, is Tom Savini.
Wow.
I don't know if you all remember Tom Savini, but he was famous for doing a lot of the Friday the 13th movies. So he did a lot of the. He's made makeup, done monster makeup for lots of movies. And actually, if you look at this, you can see that the zombies are looking a little blue.
Yes, I noticed that.
Yeah, they look a little blue, and that is actually a reference that Tom wanted to make back to Night of the Living Dead, where it was filmed in black and white on purpose. He wanted to give that reference in here. Now, later in an interview, he actually revealed that the whole blue face was a mistake for this. Like, he didn't think it worked at all.
Listen, he has made up for that. He has made up for that. So I forgive him for that. And then shout out to Tom Savini, who is a New Jerseyite. He has one of the best horror, I heard, one of the best horror events during Halloween, which we definitely have to partake in. And actually, once COVID is over, go to that. So
Tom Savini is one of those people that I would freak out if I saw Tom Savini. I'm not sure if other people would understand what was happening,
yes.
but I would personally freak out if I was to meet him. I would be speechless.
I would too.
But I'm a geek. So it's good. So some interesting things. So the actor Ken Faree plays the SWAT officer Peter Washington and survives to the end when a helicopter lands on the roof of the mall and saves him from the zombies. So it's interesting to note. Do you guys remember this, by the way?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've watched this, but I've forgotten this show. But I'm loving this man's fur coat. Like, do you see that? Like, I would rock that.
The fur coat alone.
The fur
Like
coat
that,
alone.
that full
He's
look
got to
that
survive
he's
with that
serving.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that look and that stance.
He's ready.
That's the "Don't Get Blood on My Coat" movie in this movie. Look. That's the.
Don't you dare get blood on my coat.
Right.
So it's interesting to note that the extras who appeared in this film were reportedly given $1 in cash, a donut, and a Dawn of the Dead T-shirt.
I take it.
I would.
It.
Yeah, I'd do it.
I'd do it.
I would totally do it too.
They don't even got to pay me the $1, but I will take the donut.
Yep, I would take it. I would definitely take it.
This was actually filmed in, I think, Pennsylvania, in a mall, and there was a lot of drinking that went along with being an extra in this movie within the bars in that mall. So I hear. So I've read.
What is very interesting to me is I see that Foxmore store right there. That used to be my spot. That Foxmore. Oh man, this is taking me back. It's taking me back to Jamestown Mall in St. Louis. That's
Okay,
Foxmore.
I have to admit two things.
Okay.
The first thing is that I'm not drinking tea.
Oh,
The second thing is that I realized what I am drinking is called Dawn of the Red.
there you go.
What? Just pull that up. That's awesome.
Well timed, ma'am. Well timed, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is it good, or does it taste a little?
It's really good. It's a little rotten, but I'll take
Our
it.
brand.
Does it have a bite?
A little bit of a bite, a little bit of a kickback. Makes you feel a little blue, but
Oh my gosh. So this was actually, interestingly, this is the most profitable of all the Dead series.
Really?
Yes. So this is actually a really profitable movie when it came to, George Romero and all of the Dead movies. So definitely a great movie. Lots of really good action in this, teetering on the crazy and loopy and funny,
Yes.
right? Which is always fun and enjoyable. So let's move on to the next one. Do you have any more photos of this one?
Yeah, I think no. Either you're right. We're right on time. Let's go ahead. Let's go to the next one.
Let's go to the next one. So the next one is actually one that we've talked about as well, and we're moving into the 80s now. So we're doing this sequentially. And it's actually John Carpenter's first foray into major studio filmmaking. And it's about a research team in Antarctica. And they're hunted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victim.
oh, I know this movie.
I know this one.
Mike?
Nope. You're not ruining it for me. Go ahead. No, I like the dramatic pause. Go ahead.
Annabelle, who's going to name this movie?
It's
I will, because it's one of my all-time favorites.
Oh,
Go
we're gonna
ahead.
name it. Okay.
You can name it.
Go ahead, name it, Mike.
The Thing by John Carpenter. Is that what we're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh,
Yes. $100.
Absolutely.
This is arguably one of the best sci-fi movies I've seen to date following The Alien. And let me tell you, this is awesome. What's the guy's name that's in this?
Keith David, Kirk Douglas.
Kurt,
I mean,
yeah,
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Amazing for what they did with that budget. Amazing what they based the principle on to this day. They even made a prequel to it. People thought they were remaking it. No, you gotta watch this film. This is amazing. Augie, I'm done. But this
I have to say, the special effects in this movie stand up even today. That's how advanced. That's how advanced that they are. But this is one of my favorite all-time favorites. And can I just add just a little anecdote right here?
Sure.
My family loves like big blockbuster movies, and so this movie came out, I believe, during Thanksgiving or with some holiday or something like that. And it just so happened that my parents were divorced at the time, that all of us showed up at the theater at the same time. So there's this group of, my parents, must have been about 9, 10 of us, went to go see this film. And I sat next to my father for the first time. I've only seen 2 movies in the theater with my father, this and Titanic. So we went to go see this movie. And I have to tell you, the beginning scene, I was so compassionate, me, the big animal lover and everything. Until things broke out, that was it for me. It was it for me. And my father was screaming too. We were all screaming. When we got back home and we were having, I think, turkey for dinner that evening, I couldn't even eat the turkey. I was just like, nope, I don't want it. I don't want it. Yes.
Well, this is a fantastic movie. I actually watched this when I was going through college. This was one of the main horror movies that we watched in college when we were looking at the psychology of horror movies. This was a great addition to our horror lexicon, and it actually stars among Kurt Russell, also Keith David. So Keith David is the one who survives at the end of this with Kurt Russell as the 2 main people. It actually ends, the last image was with them walking in sort of this vast snow outside of this compound, and you wonder whether they're going to survive or not. So, and actually John Carpenter has stated that of all of his films, this is his personal favorite.
I can see why.
Oh, this was a great movie, and I'm not gonna ruin it because I see that Mia and other viewers may not have seen it, because I feel like it's one of those cult classics that people have slept on, and people are like, "You should watch this." They're like, "Eh," and people who've watched it know how important, how great this is. I would argue at the end, did they really survive though? Did they really?
We don't know.
Right.
We don't know.
I would tell anybody, watch the prequel first and then watch this. You see, they're still great movies. It's just to follow the story.
They're amazing.
Can I just add too that they subsequently came out with a video game after this film came out, and it was arguably one of the scariest games I have ever played. I literally had to take it back to GameStop.
Really?
Which
And
game?
that's
Was it
the
the
name of
thing?
it.
The game?
It's called The Thing. It's called The Thing.
What
And
system did you play that on?
I wanna play
it was a PS2 or something that at that time, or PS2
What?
or PS,
I've never
PlayStation.
heard of this.
Yes, this game was so terrifying to me. And let me tell you what the premise of the game was, and how I managed to actually. And by the way, Mia, the prequel was actually pretty good, but I would say watch this first before you watch the prequel.
Okay.
Anyway, so in the game, you don't know, just like you don't know in this, who arguably has been infected by this creature. And there are people that are, of course, in an isolated area in the Antarctic, and you are playing a character that's in an isolated area in the Antarctic, and you have a team of I would say military professionals with you. And some of them are so freaked out from the isolation and the fact that they know they're going up against this creature, in addition to the fact that they just don't know who may be infected by this creature, that they start freaking out. However, the symptoms of them freaking out is the same as somebody that's being taken over by the creature. So the minute that you see somebody acting this way, you either go give them some medication to calm them down, or you have to wait and see if they turn into this creature.
Right.
Well, the minute anybody in my team started acting like that, I just went over and shot them.
I mean, that's one way to win. Yeah, that's
Look, first of all, you're going to be a bad leg anyway if you're going to be freaking out through this whole mission. So I just went over and shot them. And they made that. I must have killed a lot of innocent people in that game.
But did you survive? That's the whole point.
Oh, no, I didn't survive because I took it back. It was too scary for me. There's only been 3 games that I've played in my life that just were just too much for me. They were just
you killed everyone and then didn't have any allies to fight it.
I mean, I still have some, guys with me from my, on my team, but
the nice ones.
Yeah, this one was definitely one of the scariest games I've ever played.
Okay.
Wow. Well, just some interesting notes. Keith David, he has to wear gloves throughout the entire film, and that's because he broke his hands in a car accident and needed to cover up his cast.
Wow.
Wow.
Which is so interesting. The film's budget was $15 million at the time, and it's much larger than the other horror movies that were being produced around that time. For example, Friday the 13th was only $700,000. The original Halloween in 1978 was only $375,000. So putting $15 million into this was a significant investment for Hollywood at the time. It's also interesting to note that, and I like this kind of stuff, that the interiors were all filmed in Los Angeles sound stages, and they refrigerated the interiors down to 40 degrees.
Wow.
So that they could get the cold breath coming from the actors.
Oh, that must have been brutal.
Yeah. Oh, but my gosh, it was so convincing.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was so believable. Really, really good.
Yep. All right, let's move on to our next one. Now, our next one.
Okay, I got a lot of pictures for this because this is one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
and I just want to ruminate on this just a little bit because there are some scenes in here that Mia, you've never seen this before, that definitely we have to speak to once you have seen this.
Yes.
That are your favorite all-time scenes, all times, this being one of them, my favorite all-time scene right here. It just is an unbelievable movie. And it was very hard for me not to capture some of the great moments in here because there's so many. I wanted to make it just as, bland as possible because I didn't want to show the big reveals, but this is definitely one of my favorite movies. And just a personal note too about Keith David, I actually saw him in a club one night when I was with some friends and nobody knew who he was but me.
Wow.
You're kidding.
Oh yeah, I really knew then. Right then, I had my geek card because all my friends just did not know. I was over there geeking out over Keith David, and he was looking at me like, "Oh my God, this girl's about to blow." She's because I was just like, "Oh," but he's just this just one of my favorite all-time actors, and definitely that of John Carpenter's because he's had him in a couple of other films.
Oh yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah, he is. So let's go on. Let's move on.
All right. The next one is one of a series of horror movies or slasher movies. And let me see if you guys can guess this one. A psychiatrist familiar with, well, I can't read this because it's going to give it away.
Okay, psychiatrist.
Right. So we're talking with this person helps teens at a mental hospital battle the killer who is invading their dreams.
Okay, so if we have audience members out there, if you could guess it, we're going to give you about 5 seconds to guess which one he's talking about. Please put it in the comments.
Is that a King Kong or
what? What kind of crazy King Kong movie are you watching?
I'd like to take a stab at it.
Okay, let's go.
Is it Nightmare on Elm Street? Because
it's
invading their dreams?
It is a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is it Dream Chaser? Dream the second one? I can't remember the actual title. Is the Dream Chaser?
Not two.
Wow. So then it's got 3 Dream Nights? 3 Dream Nights?
So close. So close.
Come on.
Dream is in the title.
Dream Warriors?
Yes.
Dream Warriors. You're right.
Okay, so here's.
Oh wait! Did we forget one?
Oh shit! Yeah, that was me.
Actually, you're all wrong. It's Friday the 13th.
We can do Friday the 13th if you want.
Can I have my stuffed animal now, please? Can I have my prize and go?
Definitely.
You have at least won 2 stars.
Okay, yes. Okay, so we know that's going to be the next reveal. Let's talk about this one.
Okay. So Friday the 13th, part 5, again, slasher movies, A New Beginning.
Yes.
Who has seen this one? Who has seen this one?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Hash just said, what the? Yes.
Hash,
Sorry,
stay out
wrong
of this.
mo-
Stay out of this,
wrong
Hash.
movie. Sorry, wrong movie.
Just be quiet, Hash. Stop making fun of us.
Just trying to make sure who's paying attention.
So this particular one was one of my favorites. And because it sort of took the Friday the 13th genre and it turned it on its head. It completely went in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And in this particular one, you have the young character that was in part 4 that actually was supposed to be the final chapter. And I guess it didn't turn out to be just a chapter until we had A New Beginning. And of course, played by Corey Feldman. And he kills Jason at the end. And this one, you follow that same character, Tommy Jarvis, who grows up and is all messed up because he had this experience with a serial killer when he was a kid.
Right.
And it follows him to sort of a halfway house or a house for troubled children. And he's surrounded by these troubled children, and everything is sort of off kilter. Like the characters are weird. You don't know exactly, like Jason is there and you're not really sure who's the worst person around. Is it Jason? Is it these mean neighbors? There's just not a lot of love going on in this particular movie. But we have this character. Does anybody recognize this actor?
Yes. I think this is the little boy that played. What is he from?
So you'll know him from Different Strokes.
Yes.
Family Matters, Growing Pains, Amen, Designing Women, Magnum PI, Punky Brewster, Alice, Benson, and MacGyver.
Yes, he was the flavor of black kids back in the day.
He was, and I still hear his scream from this particular still and ringing in my ear.
Oh, he was so adorable in this. He was so adorable.
Oh yeah, he was terrific in this. Quite honestly, and it was actually, there were some very kind of tender moments with this particular character where you had other people trying to keep this character from becoming a crazy person like every other adult in the entire movie. But so it's played by Shavar Ross, and he plays the character of Reggie, and Reggie partners with this person who is the final girl, and they have to face Jason. And it's a pretty amazing final sequence when you think about all the different final sequences in Friday the 13th, and it has a really interesting reveal at the end of the movie, which we won't reveal right now.
So I do recall that he was called Reggie the Reckless.
Reggie the Reckless.
After all that, he was called Reggie the Reckless because of his heroism in this particular film. But I do remember this because in this film, it was the first time that I saw a Black person survive, Jason. It was the first time, and so it was very monumental for me to see it. And he was a child. It was very monumental to see this. Plus, he was just, there was just something that about Reggie that pulled at your heartstrings. So this particular Jason, this particular Friday the 13th, out of pretty much all of them, when you really don't get to have an emotional attachment to any of the characters, you have an emotional attachment to this one. And the same happened to the one with Corey Feldman. You had an emotional attachment to the children in it. One of my favorites.
Yeah, and the adults are just useless. They're just they're just there to be killed, but the children are actually meaningful in these.
Yeah.
Something interesting about this is in the previous slide you have a punk a girl with a punk haircut.
Yeah, let me look back that.
And she is. She's the second one in that slide.
Mm-hmm.
And she just one more slide.
Oh, one more? Okay.
In the other direction. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. We lost it forever.
Wait a minute. This is slide before this girl right here. This girl, right. Oh man, that's going forward. Go ahead.
So her name is Tiffany Helm.
Okay.
And she played the punk, and her daughter is Peter Helm, and her mother is Brooke Bundy. And Brooke Bundy actually is a well-known actress known for playing Elaine Parker in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise series.
Oh,
I did not make that connection.
Yeah, so she's actually from an actor family who is part of the other movie that we're about to talk about that we've already revealed.
And specifically from a horror actor family.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So anyway, this was a great movie and made a lot of positive impression because of the surviving of the character of Reggie.
Yeah.
Positive impression. So the next one we'll go through is Dream Warrior, of course.
Okay.
Mike Mayhem.
So really quickly, I was one of those kids who would stay up on Friday night WB's movie night and Saturday movie nights, and they would specifically play generally Jason, Freddy Krueger, or every now it's got later on Michael Myers as well as Chucky and all this other stuff, which I'm pretty sure we'll talk about. And I used to watch Freddy Krueger like crazy. I'm like 7, 8, and I'm just like glued to the screen, like, yeah, what's gonna happen?
And that made you the man you are today.
Oh my
touche.
So do you remember this particular one, Dream Warriors?
I believe, if I remember correctly, the girl in the middle, she's like the main character. I don't remember she's from the second one, but I believe she figured out how to use the powers in the dream, and she got other teenagers to go against Freddy. I don't remember how the story went, but I remember it was something to that kind of nature. And I was just like, yeah, they're fighting Freddy, but it wouldn't be me. I would go to sleep. And I was also like, why doesn't anybody believe in her? But, parents.
Let me just say the one thing that I do remember in this is also a Black character surviving Freddy Krueger. Which was monumental because Ken Sajos was what you would not consider to be your typical hero look. Oh. He didn't have like this stealth body. He kind of was a little pudgy. He was very sensitive, and you just did not expect him to be a person that would defeat Freddy Krueger. That's what I remember the most about this, and this is why this was one of my favorite.
Okay, right. Ken Sajos, he plays Kincaid in this movie, and he has actually a lot of great scenes, as a lot of them do. And this is one of the movies that, I was a huge fan of the entire series, but this movie really stuck with me because of the unique kills in this particular movie. This was like
there's Patricia Arquette back there.
It is,
who became a very famous, actress at the time, was one of her starting roles. So yes,
absolutely. This had some very unique kills in it, and Ken gets pretty close to being killed a few times, but he makes it out. So we had to include this in our series, not just because we had this wonderful example of a Black man surviving, but that we actually have a series, right? So we have a series of Nightmare on Elm Streets that doesn't necessarily have good representation, finally had that representation, and finally survive.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I would like to add a personal note about him. I had the opportunity of actually interviewing Ken at the New Jersey HorrorCon, I think in 2017. By far one of the nicest, sweetest people I've ever met. He's doing a lot of charity work right now. He has some things that he's very, he's very passionate about. He was with his son, and one of the things that he did tell me, as a result of being this Black man who survived Freddy Krueger, he now has fan base all over the world. And incidentally, he has a huge and large fan base in Malaysia. And you ask why in Malaysia he would have such a huge fan base. But the thing is that the people in Malaysia identify with him by color. Those are most of the people, yes. And so it was also that it's never been known, even in Asia, that Black people never survive these, these kind of movies. And so he definitely has families. But I would also say, guess who else had a little bitty party role in this?
Look at this.
Is that Mr. Fishburne?
Yes,
I believe it is.
It's Mr. Lawrence Fishburne. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He played one of the orderlies at the hospital.
I just want to know, how old was he there? Because he looks so young. He looks like a distinguished young man. He looks like he's got to be like 22, maybe 25, the oldest. Because his beard is starting to come in.
He started acting when he was about 16. He was on the set of, I believe it was, it was a famous war movie. He told them he was of age and he was actually only 16.
Yeah, I think was it Platoon?
Platoon, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. I got to look this up now. Thank you for that.
He's well known for being, and he has a good part in that too.
Yeah,
he's not a minor role. He's a major role, and he's underage when he's playing it. So it's.
I agree, Mia. He was young and attractive. He's always been manly. That's all I gotta say.
He always has that look. He always has that sort of look. He's sort of flirting with him. See, look at that. He's sort of flirting with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm always a fan, Lawrence. I'm always a fan. He paid me one of the highest compliments anybody could ever pay me.
Really?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I was at the time working for the Hudlin Brothers. They had I think it's a foundation called the Black Filmmakers Foundation. It used to be downtown. And before I even considered being an actor, I went and I did some work there just to kind of get my foot into the business, to see what it was like being around people. And so we held an event, and the event was for, I believe, Passenger 57, the movie Passenger 57.
Okay.
So they had some of the young ladies that were working in the office be the ones that meet and greet the celebrities and seat them for the event. And at that time, I was a little bit more svelty. I was a flight attendant, had the real, cute haircut and everything like that, knew how to really dress. Now I'm just in T-shirts and, and pajama pants, because y'all don't know what's going on.
We just can't see it.
Yeah, I have T-shirts and pajama pants underneath the table. But anyway, so what happened was he was with his wife at that time, who was she was an agent, and I went to seat them in their seat. This is before he married Gina, who he's married to now. And he came back with his wife, and he said to me, "Don't take this wrong." He said, "You are one of the most gorgeous young ladies I have ever met." He goes, "You're just gorgeous." He said, "Are you an actor?" And I said, "No, I'm thinking about it." He said, "You really should do it." He said, "You really should do it." And his wife gave me her card. And she said, "Call me if you're thinking about, doing this." Oh yeah, that actually happened. That actually happened. And after that, I had just seen him in Deep Cover.
Yes.
I had just seen him in Deep Cover. And to me, there's a scene in there where he has this speech in Deep Cover where he talks about being Black and the fact that somebody would call him the N-word and what he would do. Y'all ought to see that part right there. That is such a good line in a movie. Classic movie, classic line.
Wow. I have to check that out. I've never seen it.
Oh, very, 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 very good movie. Very, very good movie. But after that, I will always be a fan of Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay. Well, I would too if that happened to me.
Yeah.
If he said I was the most attractive woman around, I'd be like, "I'm yours."
He didn't say that was the most attractive woman around. He just said you are really gorgeous. He said you're one of the most gorgeous women I've seen. Yeah. He asked me, was I acting?
Lawrence, can you see me now? Like, let me bring my light a little closer. Can you see me a little?
Are you jealous, Mike? Are you jealous?
Oh my gosh. What I liked about it is he brought his wife back. He didn't say it without her. So I respect that.
Well, absolutely. He gave you her card, so that's amazing.
I'm actually taking notes.
She gave me her card. But yes.
I'm taking notes of this.
Very good.
Bring my wife with me to pay compliments if need be. Gotcha.
To a woman, you
To a
definitely
woman.
should do that. Yeah, you'll score very big by asking your wife to come with you if you're paying a compliment. I mean, obviously she's in the business, so she's looking at attractive people. He didn't want to make it seem that,
Right.
you know.
But also, should I ask my wife for permission? Because I don't want to end up dead either. You know what I'm saying? Like after I have pay this nice compliment, I don't want her to be like, "Come here, it's time for you to go to sleep." You know?
Don't do it. Don't do it unless there's some business behind it. That's what I would say. If you're just gonna do it because you think somebody's attractive, you're gonna bring your wife along to say that. That's a whole nother thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. All
That
right.
will end up differently than the conversation we just heard.
And I can and well, I would add, if it's a Black woman, it would end up with you also having a beautiful funeral with a nice casket, you know, and this is like, you know, it is.
Mia, we are waiting for Les to show us her younger years where she was a flowing beauty in a sense, because we know Leslie is beautiful now. I can't wait to see what people saw back then. I'm ready to get my eyes tested. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait.
Yep, even with my unseen pants on, girl. Look, I'm all business up top, but a party going on at the bottom. So anyway, so let's
we're all wearing sweatpants. You can't lie, right?
Right.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. All right.
I will never tell. No one will know.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's keep it moving. We'll get out of the party in your pants. All right. So the next one is actually a really. I mean, I'm gonna try and pull it in. I'm not sure how well I'll do this.
Got you.
Is actually a wonderful movie because there are so many Black actors that appear in this movie that it was just a momentous occasion for Black people to see. Many Black people had not seen this, and it was actually written and directed by Wes Craven. And it's about two adults and a juvenile who break into a house occupied by a brother and sister and their stolen children. There they must fight for their lives. Does anyone besides Les know what this movie is?
Stolen children.
Yes. By the way, this came out in 1991.
Come on, Mayhem. Come on, I have revoked your Black card.
First of all, you cannot revoke it. I am the CEO of that, okay? I feel like I know this. I can't just think of the movie. There's so many other horror movies. They break into a house. It's two adults and a juvenile break into a house, and it's a brother and a sister, and they have to fight for their lives.
It was inspired by a true story that Wes Craven read about parents keeping their children locked in basements for years.
Oh my gosh, Mayhem.
All right, we're going to all right, Les, why don't you go?
All right, no, I'm just going to reveal it because I just can't even say it because I'm so done. How could you not know this movie?
Okay. To be fair, when this movie came out, I was 5. I probably didn't see that movie until I was like 7, maybe 8.
But the thing is, you saw it.
My dad. Listen.
Next, you saw it. So anyway, go ahead.
Wow. All right.
I'm with you, Mike. I haven't seen any movies that came out before Shrek.
You know what?
You. Yeah.
You know what? Hot take. I barely remember 7. Okay, I said it.
What's in the box? All right. So the film earned back its $6 million in just a few days.
Wow. That's because all the Black people went to go see it.
That's exactly right, because they support. Mm-hmm. And very interestingly, 2 years prior, Kelly Jo Mintner, who was in this, had appeared in a Nightmare on Elm Street 5, A Dream Child. Mm-hmm. And which was also, of course, a Wes Craven movie. So Kelly Jo was in this. You also have a bunch of other wonderful Black actors that are.
Guess who else is in this? Guess who else is in this? By the way, shout out to Kelly Jo Mentor, who is also from New Jersey. Hello, girl.
Hello.
I do have a story about this too,
Oh,
about
here
her
we go.
and Brandon Quinton Adams, who played the fool in this movie, who also was in The Sandbox, which was a The Sandlot, which was a very famous film at the time. I don't know if y'all remember. It's a classic,
Oh, yeah.
iconic movie. But yeah, I will show you all who else was in this movie. Let me pull this out and do a little reveal.
Oh,
Mr.
Okay.
Ving Rhames himself.
that's amazing.
Everybody
I remember being in this.
yes, he had a little bit of part at the beginning. He was not a nice guy at the beginning. Of course, he came to a demise by a dog, which is
yes.
probably the worst thing. And I know I'm going to say something that's going to make some people mad and stuff like that, but it was a guard dog. It was a Rottweiler, and then you have a black man. So you got a guard dog, a Rottweiler, and a black man. It's probably the worst way for a black man to die. That's all I'm going to say. That, and if it's a pit bull.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what happened. And it was so stereotypical. And I know that people may not think that was, appropriate. But I'm telling you, Black people made comments about that because that was how he died in this. What a worst time to die, to be chased by a dog and then cut down. That has a lot of other racial implications based on the 60s and stuff too, as well.
See, I don't remember watching this movie like that because I would remember Ving Rhames, especially him. He's a powerful actor. Like when he's on screen, you remember. Like I still remember him in Baby Boy, doing that dance. You know what I'm saying? So like, I gotta watch this again. Oh,
it's very good.
I definitely have to watch this again. It's been a number of years since I've seen this. I remember being scared during it and really enjoying it, but I haven't seen it in a number of years.
Now, my mom, who's not with us any longer, but my mother, who never watched, she stopped watching horror films. She's the one that introduced me to horror films, but she stopped watching them after a while. She absolutely loved this movie. She loved this movie. And it has a great soundtrack, by the way. The Freaks Come Out at Night, Houdini's Freaks Come Out at Night, is played at the end of this movie. It is a really, really, really good movie.
And the white people are
they're like slum lords. They're slum lords.
Right. The evil ones in this, and the good ones are the Black characters, which is a nice change to see. Yeah. Also in this, by the way, is Cassie Lemons.
Yes, Cassie Lemons is in this.
And Cassie, you may remember Cassie as Clarice's best friend in Silence of the Lambs.
That's where she's from. The ginger, or is it red? Red, whatever. That one right there on screen. Is that her, correct?
That is not her.
What about the one two slides ago?
She is there. Hold on one second. Let me just back it up a little bit for you to see who she is.
Her.
Yeah,
no?
Here, right
okay.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm wrong.
So, Mr. McGee, I forgot his name right here. This gentleman right here. But do you all recall what movie he was in? He was in one of our favorite movies, Eddie.
He looks so familiar. I know him.
A Psycho movie?
No. It was a Stephen King adaptation.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Ooh, is it okay? Let's play 20 questions.
Okay,
is it a movie fairly recent?
No.
Is there?
I would say that it came out in the late 80s, early 90s.
It.
No.
Ooh. Cujo.
No.
He wasn't in The Shining. I know that.
No. Oh my gosh, y'all! Really? Come on.
Join us, Annabelle. Join us.
I'm thinking.
Come on, quick, do an IMDb
thinking about it.
Don't do that. Don't do it. Play the 20 questions.
Okay. Question.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Did he survive in this movie?
No.
Okay, so he's dead.
Pet Cemetery.
No.
Uh,
Okay, let me give you a clue.
Okay.
He is nope, no Jane, not the Langoliers, not the Langoliers. Let's just say this. I don't want to give it away because I'm going to give you a detail that I don't want to give it away. It takes place in a small town, and it has a very famous child actor in it.
Firestarter.
No. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that you're not getting this.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe you're not getting this. I am so surprised you're not getting this.
Small town?
Yes.
Child
it's a small
star?
town. Famous. Nope, Mia, it's not The Mist.
The Mist was a little earlier.
Yeah.
Well, later, excuse me.
Okay, so let me just say this.
Hmm?
The child star is...
Stand by me.
No. Small town, famous child star, told in the first person view. The film was told in the first person view of somebody recounting a story from the past.
Okay.
And the child star that played in this played something that he was not. He played a disabled child, but he was not disabled.
Oh, Silver Bullet.
Oh, yes!
Silver Bullet, and he was the priest in
He was
Silver
the
Bullet?
preacher. Yes.
Oh my God!
He was the preacher in Silver Bullet, y'all.
I can't believe it.
That's Everett McGill. That's Everett McGill.
Wow.
And Everett McGill. I mean, I can't believe it. He has such a distinct look. I don't know why you could not figure out who he was.
I don't think I've seen that Stephen King movie.
Same.
Oh my goodness, you
Oh,
all.
Silver Bullet. Oh, you
you
have to watch Silver Bullet.
You
It's
all
amazing.
have to watch it. You have to watch it. You have to.
Amazing.
Is it creepy like Children of the Corn in a sense?
No, I wouldn't say. Mia, yes, you are fired. You are kicked off the show. And so is all three of my co-hosts.
Hey, I got it.
Yeah, you got it. After I had to give you all this, and we highlighted that particular movie on this show because
I
you
knew
said
I
it's one of your
recognized him.
favorites.
I knew I recognized him.
Oh my gosh,
I am a
pressure.
guest. I am a guest. Is all I have
Yes,
to
you are
say.
a guest. We'll just get a new guest.
Yo, I do the games, okay?
Do you guys feel how cold it is for so much shade that Les is giving us? It was a hot day for us. Like, what's going on?
I tell you what, you better make sure I eat before I do these shows.
No hangry shows for Les.
Oh, shoot, I'm hungry right now. Hungry. Anyway, so yes, let's go. Let's move on. Let's
keep it moving. All right, so God, now I'm all messed up with my list. All right, there we go. Okay, so that was The People Under the Stairs. The next one is one that we actually highlighted on the show, and it's about a murderous soul with a hook for a hand and is accidentally summoned by reality by a skeptic grad student researching the monster's myth. It stars Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd.
I watched this one for the first time recently.
When?
Yeah.
Recently? What were your thoughts?
It was really good, and it wasn't what I was expecting.
Okay.
Which one did? Well, can we do the reveal now so I can ask him which one did he watch? Which one did she watch? Excuse me.
I watched
That's
the first one.
This is it.
Yeah,
Oh.
so we started with the first one.
Wait, Mayhem got it wrong. Mayhem thought it was something else.
Wait, no. There's more than there's more. Don't come for me, Les. Annabelle. And I'm gonna talk to Annabelle, my sweetheart, because Les left the building. Okay, Annabelle. So there's the first one, there's the second one, and there's a third one. I know this because when I was 9, my dad watched all 2, and then he was gonna leave me in the house by himself to get the third one, and I never slept for weeks after I watched all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. So
it was the first one.
This is the first one. This is the first one. This is the recounting of the lore of Candyman.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know that?
Thank you, Jane. That's my girl. She knows. She knows. I used to be my roommate back in the day, and she knows.
Ugh.
She knows.
The backstory was given by the first movie. So the backstory to Candyman is that he was lynched in the Cabrini Green around 1890, which is kind of interesting. And Tony Todd, who of course ultimately won the role, was chosen over Eddie Murphy.
Oh no!
Yes,
No!
Eddie Murphy was considered for the title role, but he was.
I could laugh through the whole dang movie.
It almost went there.
Oh, it would have been a disaster. I'm sorry, Eddie, but that would have been a disaster.
Hey, don't look at me. I'm not the casting director. I'm just the news guy.
Oh, well, he did right.
So Eddie Murphy didn't get it because he's too short.
Oh, that was the only reason why he didn't get it?
Yep. Tony Todd got it because he's 6'5", because of his height.
Wait a minute. Can y'all imagine Eddie Murphy saying treats for the treats? Treats for the sweets. Can y'all imagine that?
Sweets for the sweet. Do you know where that's from? Sweets for the sweet?
What?
It's from Hamlet.
Oh, yes, it is, because Tony Todd is a Shakespearean actor.
Right. So, like, I remember Eddie Murphy years later in Vampire from Brooklyn when he tried to be serious in a sense, and it didn't work. You know, I mean, he had some funny roles in that. You don't get me wrong. He wouldn't be able to do this. This man killed this role. This man is this role. And I know
there's a famous scene in here where he has bees in his mouth.
Yes.
And he negotiated that because he has real bees in his mouth, that he will get $1,000 for every bee sting that he suffers during the filming. And he had 26 bee stings for this filming.
That's how you write a contract.
That was smart art. Yes, that is smart art.
That's right.
Let me just say about Tony Todd. Now, Tony Todd, you know, he has been in a lot of horror films. He is a different kind of guy. Let's just face it, he is. Mm-hmm. But he is so commanding when he's on film. And I don't care if it's the below B movie. I don't care if it's the D not minus movie. This dude has always and will always be one of my favorite all-time actors. He really will be. This film in particular, and I will say something about Cabrini Green. A lot of people don't really know that Cabrini Green actually existed in Chicago. And I agree with you too, Mia. There is something handsome about him. Maybe just his presence, but this place actually did exist, and this is probably one of the reasons why it was a horrific type of project area that was just subpar living, but that instilled the fear in a lot of Black people who watch this movie because they do know about Cabrini Green. Yes. And the fact that there is this Black serial killer out there was just it was groundbreaking for us as Black people, and it probably scared a lot of white people too, thinking, "Oh my gosh, this Black man with this hook on his hand is coming to get me." Yeah, it was scary on all counts.
It was actually filmed in Cabrini Green in the housing projects.
Wow.
And the producers had to make a deal with the ruling gang members to put them in the movie as extras to ensure the cast and crew's safety during filming.
Wow.
Chi-town.
Yeah.
I will say this. When I saw this, my family, we're West Indian, so we're big into spirits. So vengeful spirits like Candyman is something we'll talk about, whether we believe it or not, but it's just that possibility of such an angry presence of spirits. This was a great movie. This is it scares you mentally. Like, you'll be there and you're like, do I really want to go in front of the mirror? And I hope he's in the new Candyman.
I do too.
I hope they're lying to us, and then boom, he's on the screen. I will flip my lid.
I will also check behind the mirror in your bathroom in the medicine cabinet.
Oh, yes.
That's how I feel about this movie, because I watched this movie, and then I also shortly after was reading the stories of people hiding in the walls behind people's medicine cabinets, and now I have been checking all my medicine cabinets.
Oh,
Oh my
The
gosh.
menacing, the
Oh.
entrance of to there's Cassie Lemons.
Yes, there's Cassie Lemons. One of
Cassie
her
Lemons again. She plays the best friend in this movie too, as well as Silence of the Lambs. So
Okay, go. Okay, Hash, go in front of the mirror and do that.
so you're absolutely right. The inspiration for the entrance of Candyman behind the medicine cabinet was inspired by real events that people had read about
Oh my gosh.
right before they were filming this movie.
wow.
And they actually they saw it and they incorporated it into the production. So that's real. All right, so that is one scary movie. So let's move on to the next one. And the next one is actually written and directed by Rusty Cuddife, I'm not in
Cutleaf, yeah.
Cuddife.
Cutleaf, yeah.
Yeah. It's about a funeral director, and he tells four strangers of horror with an African American focus on three drug dealers he traps in his place of business.
Okay, Mayhem. Come on now.
I don't appreciate this, okay?
Came out in 1995.
Okay, 1995.
The pressure.
Okay, can I get the bio one more time, please? I apologize. My hands are free. I'm not looking this up. Go ahead.
A funeral director tells four strange tales of horror with an African American focus to three drug dealers he traps in his place of business.
Which is a funeral home.
Right.
Come on, audience members, if you are watching, please
help me out.
Help Mayhem out, because he is slowly tearing up his card here.
It has been a while since I've seen these. This sounds familiar. I'm drawing a blank. I'm really drawing a blank.
All right.
All right. So let's
the place of origin, please. Okay, Hash wants to try. He said the place of origin, please.
The place of origin.
What is the route word?
We got someone who got it right. All right, so Mia, you got it right.
Mia got it right. Mia got it right. Tales from the Hood. Go ahead, Mia. Mia, I'm giving you Mayhem's black card.
Okay. Honest, I'd never watched this one. I was barred from watching it, and my dad put the fear of God into me from watching it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
What? Why?
When did it come out? 1995?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was 9, 86 baby. Boop, boop. And I had been sneaking off and watching certain films, so he knew about certain things. So he was like, he said, if I ever catch you watching this film, I'm going to beat the black off of you. And my dad is a big man. I believe him. Okay, so that's probably why I never watched this movie. So you can have my card. I like the black to stay on me. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I am now curious why your father did not want you to see this movie.
I don't think he wanted me to be exposed to that, honestly, at the time. Don't get me wrong. My dad exposed me to a lot of stuff, just that at the moment. And I'll watch it and I'll come back with the answer next week. For sure.
Okay. I'm curious.
Yeah, this movie actually is a tribute to British horror anthology movies that took place in the 60s and 70s, including the original Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually the title of this movie is based on the Tales from the Crypt series.
Can I just say that there were stories in this that actually paralleled Black life at the time in the 90s. And the one common thread that we have not seen change is the story about police brutality. There is a police brutality component to this particular film that I have to tell you, when I think back on it and we were commenting about which films we're going to choose today, it broke my heart to see that this is still going on. It's still going on. But it is it shows just some of the things that Black people suffer on a consistent basis. And I think that it really highlighted those things. It just was great. And it also dealt with the residuals of slavery, like what happens to people
right.
who are white supremacists and stuff like that. The first picture that I showed of this little doll right here, um, Corbin. What was his name at the time? That used to be a very famous actor back in the day. He did it. He was kind of like this politician that was running for office that was a racist, was closet racist, and somebody gave him these little dolls that came to life. And I'm telling you, and he calls them a name which I'm not going to mention here. He calls them something similar to which is a derogatory word for Black people. But this scene in particular, I remember this particular part of this movie are these little dolls running around exacting revenge on someone who has a history of racism.
That's right. There's one of the stories is about Klansmen and turned white Aryan resistance founder Tom Metzger. Actually, there's a name called Duke Metzger, which is the name of one of the characters in this, and it's a combination. What they're pulling from is David Duke. The name's David Duke, and Tom Metzger together.
And people don't know who David Duke is. David Duke at the time was the head of the KKK.
That's right. So look at I thought you just showed one. Oh no, that wasn't him. I saw it. Interestingly, David Alan Grier actually, in Living Color fame, appeared in an like non-comedic role.
Yeah, I do remember that too. I do remember that. Movie. Yeah, a lot of people appeared in this movie. And shout out to Joe Torre right there too, who's from St. Louis. I remember her being in this film. So yeah,
okay.
He was a comedian. Yeah, he was a comedian.
Amazing. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Oh. And Clarence Hilton. Clarence Hilton. I don't know if I forgot his last name right now because I'm hungry. But you all know him. If you know anything about him, he has been an actor for a long time. In the 60s, he was part of a show that came on TV called The Mod Squad. And that's where his claim of fame came from.
Okay.
So he is like Black Hollywood royalty.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check this one out, definitely.
There's
Same. I really want to watch this.
Yeah.
Yep, there's David Alan Grier. Yep.
Yeah, David Alan Grier in it right now. And this is Mr. Connick, the young man who wrote the movie.
Okay.
I think it's Rusty Connick. Yes. Go ahead. Let's move on.
All right. So the next one is, speaking of Tales from the Crypt, it's actually another Tales from the Crypt movie. And let's see, this isn't as well known, but let's see if anybody can guess this.
Demon Knight.
What? What?
Because let's put it together.
What?
Tales of the Crypt, Black person.
Come on, Jada. Come on. Okay.
Yes, Jada was the jam in this.
Forget that. That movie was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot the guy's name. Billy Zane.
Yes,
Billy Zane.
Yes.
He played the hell out of that role. No pun intended. And Jada. Okay, can I have my application, please? I want my black card.
You got it back. You got it back. You definitely got it back now. You definitely got it back. Yes.
This is actually Billy Zane's favorite movie. If you were to ask Billy Zane what his favorite movie is of all of his filmography, it's this particular movie.
Okay.
I love Billy Zane.
Yes.
He was really good in this. Around the time, as everyone knows, Tales from the Crypt was really popular. That and Twilight Zone. And once again, I used to watch these things as a kid. I wasn't supposed to be. I remember watching this movie and I was like, this is awesome. And I wanted them to, and to this day, I want them to make a sequel. Like, I want to know what happens. Mm-hmm. If you guys watch it, it's phenomenal. It is dope.
I've never even heard of this one.
What? Annabelle! Oh my gosh! Annabelle, you're killing me. You're killing me.
I want to see it. I mean, you had me at Demon Knight.
Yes. girl. First of all, you have got to watch all these films, and I just can't wait to talk to you about it.
I'm keeping a list.
Yes, to experience this.
Maybe tonight even.
Oh.
Maybe tonight even.
Tonight is definitely the night. And
I
I have
think
a very interesting tidbit
Okay,
of
tell us.
information about this that I learned. The studio originally wanted Cameron Diaz for the role of Jerry Lynn.
What?
The director insisted that they cast Jada Pinkett Smith instead, and of course, the director won out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz, can you imagine?
Okay.
No.
For those who haven't seen this movie, Annabelle, girl, when you see this movie, wait until that scene in particular.
Yes.
That scene in particular, it is crazy. That's it. I'm not gonna say anything.
All I can say is that I would have had a hard time
I'd have been
saying
dead.
no. I would have saying no. Because the demon was fine.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's gonna give you whatever you want. Plus, he's attracted to you. She was a strong girl in this, trying to fight off Billy Zane. She's a strong girl.
Billy Zane, I think, also too was probably his most charismatic and just commanding I've ever seen him in this movie. Honestly,
so charming in this movie.
Mm.
Yep.
Woo.
You can tell he loved making this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he certainly thinks so. I mean, he just loves this movie. So this is a movie I have to admit I haven't seen in like 10 years, more than that. So I have to go back and try and rewatch this movie. It's been a long time for me.
I think this movie is one of those movies you can watch every 10 years and be okay because it's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's so groundbreaking, but whatever. Ooh.
It's so good. It's so good. It's such a good movie. Annabelle, I can't wait for you to watch it.
I'm excited to see it now. You guys sold me on it real quick.
You know, one of the things that I do love about this film also is just the way that it's filmed. The color is just so vibrant in this film. And if you think about it, where the instances where there was a lot of blood and stuff, whatever shade they used to do this, the blood actually stood out more than anything. That red color in the blood stood out more than anything. And I think that was significant for some reason. Yes, Jane. Yes. Billy Zane. Well, Google eyes and fire, honey. Yes. He was fine in this. I mean, he was extra fine in this. So I have to tell you, this is by far one of my favorite all-time movies where the Black woman is probably the most, she's the most smartest, cleverest that ever in this. And she survives this. And she goes through literally hell to survive this. And it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I love Jada Pinkett Smith. She has that like energy to like drive through it. Like she's a fighter.
Yep. And she has the sass. She has the sass in this. She has a lot of sass. You know, if you could typify it as Black girl sass, this girl has it.
Oh yeah.
And that's what
I
loved
it was
about
almost Cameron Diaz.
Can you believe it? What?
You know, this is related to that. I learned today that in the 90s, a studio exec wanted to get Julia Roberts to play Harriet Tubman in a movie that didn't happen. I learned that fact today, and I'm like,
yeah,
why?
That is definitely something that we need to talk about at some point.
I agree, we do, because
do.
My jaw dropped when I learned that.
Oh yeah,
because they thought no one would notice that. Like they're like, it happened so long ago, no one would notice, and I'm like, seriously.
and then you know why? Then you wonder why our country is in the state that it's in now.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, a little tangent for today.
Period.
Yeah.
All right, we only have 2 more to do, you guys. Have you made it this far along? You ready for 2 more?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go for 2 more. Let's go to these 2 final ones. Yes, absolutely.
All right, so the next one is written and directed by the incomparable Cassie Lemons, who we have seen multiple times before. So written and directed by her. And it also stars Samuel L. Jackson, Lynn Whitfield, Debbie Morgan, Journey Smollett, It was Roger Ebert named it the best film of 1997. It was selected by the Library of Congress in 2018 for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant.
Mhm.
Does anyone know what this movie is?
Of course I do.
I know.
But I'm gonna ask our audience, do they know what this particular film is? And I'm gonna give you a few seconds to answer that while Mayhem is trying to think about it.
Can we I was gonna say, can we have some hints? Something that doesn't give it away?
It has Diane Carroll in it.
Yep.
It has
casting hints mean nothing to me.
Okay, casting hints don't mean anything. Okay, so
yes.
So here's the bio. Here's the bio.
Yes, it does take place in a bayou.
Yeah.
A bayou.
Bayou.
Oh, but I was about to say there's no way it's biodome.
No. Bayou. I forgot to put a French accent on it. Down in the bayou. And so now that word is actually in the title of the movie.
It is.
Bayou.
Mm-hmm. So Jane is going to try to guess it. Okay, Jane. It's a classic horror with an all-black cast, directed by a black female.
Written and directed. Yeah.
Written and directed by a black female. It went down in the Library of Congress for being aesthetically and
culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant.
Yeah, it's significant. It had Diane Carroll in it, and probably pretty much all of the big name actors that you know. Some very young Jolie Smollett. It was young in this movie. She plays the lead character in this. It's I think her breakout role.
Yep.
And there's somebody else in it that's very young now, an actress who plays a young lady in this. Megan Good, I believe.
Okay.
Yep, Megan Good. That's right.
It came out in 1997.
I think I know what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not Bayou Ghost, but I think it's
and Bayou is in the title.
I think Bayou's the second word. I just got to remember the first one.
It's
Eve's?
Eve's Bayou.
Wow.
It is Eve's Bayou. It is, yes.
Eve's Bayou.
Okay. Now that I see this makes sense.
That's right. So what did little Eve see and how will it haunt her? Husband, father, and womanizer Louis Baptiste is the head of an affluent family, but it's the women who rule this Gothic world of secrets, lies, and mystic forces. Eve's Bayou.
And by the way, guess who else is in this movie?
Who?
Ain't that Jesse?
You sure?
Can you look and see that? They look just alike.
I'm going to look up. Now I'm going to look this up.
Who do you think it is?
It's Jesse Smollett.
Oh, yes. It is Jesse Jake Smollett.
Yes.
Oh, that's Jake. Okay, so that's Jake. That's not. Yeah, that's Jake. Okay,
That's
it's not
Journey's
brother. Yeah.
Yep.
Jake and Jesse are both her brothers.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I didn't put it all together.
That's the Smollett kids. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Phil and is looking beautiful as ever. There's a young Megan Good right there.
Yep.
Really great movie.
Great movie. The acting is unbelievable. And you'll notice as you're watching this movie, at least I know less than I will notice, all of the famous actors from the 70s, from the early 80s. You see a lot of famous faces in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really
one
excellent.
of those roles that I didn't imagine that Diane Carroll would be in, because she always plays this very, elegant type of role and stuff like that. But I've seen her in two roles where she played against herself, which was one was Claudine and the other one was this in Eve's Bayou.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. There's
definitely worth a watch. This is a really, really good movie.
Yeah, very
worth a watch.
Yeah,
okay, I put it on my list just now. I added it.
It is not necessarily a horror movie. I wouldn't call it a horror movie, maybe more of a suspense type of movie.
Okay.
I would say that there is a lot of, I think Mayhem, you will really like it because it deals with French, Louisiana, voodoo, all of the strange and weird things surrounding that mythology or that belief, so I think that it will definitely appeal to you.
Yeah, that reminds me of the show that we were talking about not too long ago that came out over the summer. Okay, so yeah, I'm in. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely an excellent movie. And we have one more movie after this.
Okay,
Look at
let's
that
go ahead.
those beautiful. I just love the way it's shot. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, well, can you tell us where they did film this? Because it does look like they filmed it in Louisiana.
Yeah, I think they filmed it on location. I don't have the exact information right in front of me. I'm looking, but it doesn't say.
Okay.
Louisiana. It was filmed in Louisiana.
Yeah, you could tell it is Louisiana.
This sounds like this really influenced a lot of other horror genre movies and shows, and it kind of like flew under the radar for like me, somebody like myself. So I'm gonna definitely look into this. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this came out in 1997.
Okay.
So definitely check it out. I remember when it came out. Actually, the final movie that we're talking about today is a little bit like the pandemic that we're living in right now, except we don't turn into zombies.
Oh!
So 4 weeks, I'll tell you, and then you can guess. 4 weeks after a mysterious, incurable virus spreads throughout the UK, a handful of survivors tried to find sanctuary, and it came out in 2007.
Yeah, what's 4 times 7 again?
28.
Yes. Absolutely.
This is such a great zombie movie. I think I could be wrong, but I feel like this is one of the things that it was a reimagining moment for zombies, right? With the fast zombies.
Yes, absolutely.
And this weird, I don't even know this actor's name, but I recognize him and everything. And this weird looking dude, like
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. That's his name.
Cillian Murphy. Yeah.
He is so good in this. That scene of him just waking up, walking around London, and his butt hanging out the back.
He was so skinny too in this. He was just very skinny.
He was.
He was perfect for this.
This was filmed in London on the actual bridge. They didn't do any fake anything. They just filmed it early in the morning on a Sunday morning when there was very little traffic.
Right. But this is significant. It's significant because of the partner here who pretty much helped him survive this apocalypse.
That's right. Her name is Naomi Harris, the actress Naomi Harris,
who you have seen in the latest James Bond movies as Moneypenny.
That's right. And the role here is Selena. Her name is Selena in this particular movie.
Oh, I remember that part.
I remember watching, so I actually rewatched this fairly recently, and one of the comments I thought about that was the relationship between the two of them was such a authentic, platonic, slightly not platonic. It was like so complex. Like, she's so amazing in this.
Yeah. And I have to agree with you about that, Annabelle. It was a complex relationship. It wasn't what you would think be a traditionally romantic movie between two people. It was two people brought together because of this circumstance. And she was the stronger of the two. She was the stronger of the two. And she literally was the reason why he survived all of this. Because she just did not take any prisoners. Her mentality at this time was that she knew that she had to survive, and whatever it would take for her to survive, that she was doing. But you could also know that she cared for people, but she did not hesitate if that person succumbed to the virus. She did not hesitate.
That's right. And to do that, they actually created a backstory to explain her hard-nosed and sort of pragmatism. So apparently the backstory goes that Selena was forced to kill her infected mother and father to save her baby brother.
Oh, wow.
Only to discover that her brother was also infected.
Oh, wow.
So with that backstory, Naomi Harris brought that story to every scene. So she was the one that had already gone through this and bore those scars, and Cillian was just discovering this.
Amazing movie. I remember watching this, and first of all, fast running zombies. I don't get how people die from slow moving zombies. Just run, climb, whatever, but fast moving zombies. And as a matter of fact, this was such a great movie. I had to watch this sequel to this 28 weeks later, and there's an opening shot of this man running. And oh my God, even it's the second movie, the first movie, it is so terrifying because you can imagine yourself running and getting tired, but these guys are not, and they just coming out the woodwork.
Yes.
I believe there was supposed to be a third one 28 months later. I think it got canceled. I hope they bring it back. I cannot wait to see what they would do.
And then we can get it 28 years later eventually.
28 decades.
That would be called 2021.
That is true.
Yeah.
So this is actually the first movie ever to be shot. His first mainstream movie ever to be shot entirely in digital. So this is kind of an interesting moment in film history with this particular movies, and this movie interestingly also had sort of gruesome scenes, but probably the most gruesome scene is when Jim is killing the would-be rapist soldier.
Yep.
By beating him up.
Yeah.
And gouging out his eyes. So as gruesome as the concept is of this movie and zombies are and being attacked by zombies, really the gruesome parts are really some of the most human moments in the movie.
Very good film. Absolutely one of my favorites.
Yeah, so that is our top 10 list.
Oh, that was an excellent list.
Thank you. That's and we also have some honorable mentions.
Okay, let's hear your honorable mentions.
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
I don't know if you can take it. All right, here we go. We have to mention Night of the Living Dead, right? Which we began with. Also, They Live.
Yes.
They Live, which is an amazing movie.
Which also has Keith David in it, and it's a John Carpenter film.
That's exactly
With Ronnie Piper.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Death by Temptation, 1990. Event Horizon, 1997.
Yes, I was waiting for that one. Okay, sorry.
That's all right. Anaconda, 1997.
I thought it was scary, okay?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
That movie scared Annabelle.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
1998.
With Brandy.
House on Haunted Hill, 1999.
With Taye Diggs.
Deep Blue Sea, also 1999.
So that we definitely have to just take a pause on that one because that had LL Cool J in it and Samuel L. Jackson, and LL Cool J did end up surviving that film.
That's right.
But not Samuel Jackson. That
was a crazy death. That scene scared me. That was a massive jump scare for me.
Fair enough.
What was not inauthentic is the fact that a black man would have his back to water, knowing that big old shark is in that water. It just wouldn't happen, and definitely not with Samuel L. Jackson. But it did make for a good scene. I will say that
they've used that scene. They've used that. They used that kind of scene and that kind of trope with him in two other movies. I think Snakes on a Plane, and I can't think of another one. Yeah, a commercial. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, so 13 Ghosts.
The best.
With Rod Digger.
That's right.
Rod Digger is in that one too.
Yes.
Yeah, Rod Digger played his.
I need
love
to
that.
rewatch that movie. It's been too long.
Oh, I love that movie too.
It's so good. Yeah, it's so good every time.
Yeah, it really
It
is.
freaked me out when I saw it the first time. I was completely freaked out. I thought it was so great.
Yep, it was really good.
Let's see. Halloween Resurrection.
Who's in that? Busta Rhymes?
Busta Rhymes, yeah.
Busta
Yes,
Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
And he
Okay.
survives. Busta Rhymes. Yep.
Yeah.
Gothica.
Halle.
Halle
Okay.
Berry.
Okay.
Get that check, you know.
That had a great cast. Gothica had an amazing cast.
Yes, it did, and that's why
We were.
just don't feel, let me just say, Halle is beautiful and everything like that, but I just don't feel that she brought herself up to the level to go against that cast that was there around her. It just, I don't know.
Well, it's an honorable mention. We are honoring it now, but it didn't make our top 10.
Yeah.
So Saw 6, not Saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but Saw 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
So was that the first time someone successfully got out of the trap in a Saw movie?
Yeah, really. Do they survive?
No. If I remember correctly, it's not the first time they got out. I think the first time was 3 with the girl who got out, and then she ended up joining him, if I'm not mistaken, either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But
She chases you in Dead by Daylight?
Yes, the pig.
Because I was sitting here wondering, and as we were doing this show tonight, I'm like, surely we've had, some black people escape from the Saw movies, right? But
6.
6. Dang, that's late.
Yeah, 6 movies for us to escape.
Yeah.
I enjoyed like the first 3, and then I just kind of didn't pay attention.
Like, I'm pretty sure, I forget if Shaq escaped in the parody movie of a scary movie. It was Shaq and Dr. Phil in the room.
I think that's
definitely has to do an honorable mention. By far, some of the funniest movies I have ever seen are these scary movies.
Yes.
I love the scary movies. I love them. And finally, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Get Out.
Yes.
Oh,
right?
Yes. That is the beginning of everything about Black horror for this time and century. Definitely not, we don't want to forget about what came before that, but that one particular movie just was the bust out role for everything, and it's still to this day is one of the best films I have ever seen, with one of the best storylines that is an interesting twist to it that was totally unexpected. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great movie, and it feels like a new chapter in Black horror movies.
Yeah,
I agree.
A new chapter.
I agree. Well, thank you, Augie. Oh my gosh, that was really fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
We did like a little back down memory lane. Hey, I love this. I really love this. And I know that we devoted like our whole show to this, but I think that this was really worth it because we wanted to end Black History Month with something that, especially when it comes to horror and being Black in horror or surviving while Black in horror, we wanted to actually have some homage to that. And who knows, now in the next Black History Month, we'll move into the 2000s and maybe do, some films, because I believe that there's probably going to be several made by that time. We're going to have a new Candyman at that time. Jordan Peele's probably going to come out with some more,
You already had like 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely there's going to be more to come in the year ahead. All right, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out our night. Thank you so much for hanging with us this evening. Can you tell us, Mike, where we can catch you in the weeks ahead so that our subscribers could like and follow Mr. Mayhem?
Well, being that I make it back here and I don't have my black card revoked, you can find me here every Thursday, hopefully, or every now and again on the Tingling Tea. I'm also on every Sunday at 8 p.m. on This Week in Pop Culture, as well as Wednesdays at 10 for The Take. If that's too much, don't worry about it. Just join me on Instagram at Pure Mayhem. I'll have all the information for you there.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I'll think about it. Anyway. And for us, please watch us here. Remember, we are moving to Thursday nights next month. We will be here at 8 o'clock. Follow us, like, and subscribe us at Cliff Dive Productions on Facebook, Cliff Dive Productions on YouTube, Cliff Dive Productions on Twitch, Cliff Dive Productions on Instagram. And we all have our own channels that we would like to send you to. Augie, go ahead. Tell us where you are.
At Augie_ominous on Insta.
Woo!
Mm-hmm. And Annabelle.
Catch me at Annabelle_Chimpton on all platforms. So Insta and Twitch. I go live usually every Wednesday where we do horror. It's after school scream hour. So come and join. Come on to my page. I have the schedule up. It's not been happening the past 2 weeks, but it will be happening after this week. So
Yay.
Yes, but there's a good reason, though.
Yes.
So there's a very good reason. And you can follow me here, of course, on the Tingling Tea on Friday nights. I'm also with the Bit and Apple TV on Saturdays for Apple Bite at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And Into the Fry Zone occasionally with my dad at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm also with Evolution Comics and Hatch with This Week in Pop Culture on Sunday nights. So thank you for being with us this evening. We will see you next Thursday at 8 o'clock, same time, same bat channel. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, everyone. See you on Thursday.